was curled in the farthest corner of the library while the air buzzed with celebration. Everyone was getting into the college of their dreams, and when I opened the message, it felt like my entire world collapsed.
We regret to inform you.
The room fell silent. I immediately shot up and walked out of the library with my head held high. Hi, my name is Melia Denzel, but you can call me Melia. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until I got home, collapsed into bed, and cried like someone had hit delete on my entire future.
Melia?
Mom peeked in, armed with the cutest stuffed animal. I failed Mom miserably.
Honey, you didn't fail. You got rejected. My school's still stuck in the fax machines era.
I looked up at her, still flawless as always. Of course she is. She's the CEO of a real estate empire. Meanwhile, I felt like a wet skill. I'm serious, Mom. What do I do now? My future is toast.
Your future is fine. You just need a break for the time being. Then we'll plan a comeback so epic it makes Harvard cry.
Classic Mom. Eternal optimist. But even she had her kryptonite, and it was located at Grandma's house. We had to be there for Thanksgiving.
So, Melia, I heard you're deciding between Yella and Stanford.
Melia's keeping her options open. You know, gap years are underrated these days.
Grandma raised her eyebrows sharp enough to slice through reinforced blue class.
So she failed every school? Not surprising. Like mother, like daughter. Back then, you couldn't even get into one college.
Mother, you've crossed the line.
I simply speak the truth.
Then sit here and enjoy your truth, alone. Melia, let's go.
She stormed out, and I scrambled to follow her. The car door slammed shut behind us. Mom, about what just happened.
Don't let her words get to you. That's how she's always been. Expectations as high as Everest. So what if you didn't get into college? I didn't either. And look where I am. So don't beat yourself up, Melia. I'll always be with you, no matter what.
Yeah, she's right. But just then, a blinding light hit us straight in the face, and time shattered. They said the accident had put her into a coma. I hadn't cried. I didn't want to believe it was real. But whether I wanted it or not, I had nowhere else to go other than my grandma's.
The guest room is down the hall. Bathrooms to the left. Don't touch the thermostat.
She turned and walked off like I was a delivery she hadn't ordered. Grandma never told me which rooms were off limits. She didn't need to. The lock addict practically screamed, "Do not enter," and yet something about it kept pulling me in. Then one afternoon during one of her nap hours, I spotted the keyring dangling from her pocket. I slipped it out. The door creaked open, and inside was like a museum of my mom from baby photos. Everything was spotless, like Grandma had been preserving them all this time. At the very end of the room stood a wardrobe, old, ornate, and glowing, softly like something straight out of a fairy tale. I reached for the handle, and the door creaked open. A soft light spilled out, and a scent, Mom's scent, wrapped around me. When the light faded, I was no longer in the attic. In front of me was a mirror, but the reflection staring back wasn't mine. It was Mom, early 22nds, dressed in a ballet costume. What was happening? Suddenly Grandma, well, a much younger version of her, burst in.
You have 2 minutes. Let's go.
Without warning, she shoved me toward a stage so wide and blinding with lights. The music started, and my body moved on its own. I danced like I'd done it 1,000 times before. As I landed the final pose, applause erupted. Someone handed me a trophy, first place. Then Grandma rushed toward me, her face cracked open, with real pride.
You did it. You were perfect.
And then the light blinked out, and I was suddenly back in the attic. What just happened? I checked my phone, and 2 hours had passed. I glanced around the room, trying to unscramble my brain. Then I saw it, a photo of that exact moment on stage. That was real. I looked back at the wardrobe, and I knew this wasn't just a piece of furniture. It was a door tower, Mom's memories. One more time, I thought, just to be sure. Light, scent, and whoosh. I blinked and found myself holding a plastic tray of peas, wearing scrubs. What was Mom doing here? Just then, an intercom blared.
Nurse Denzel to room 7B. Mr. Hollister has escaped again.
Wait, that's me? And once again, Mom's body moved on its own, rushing down the hallway just in time to see an old man sprinting.
You can't make me eat. I have rights.
By the end of the hour, I dodged a flying diaper and lost a full-blown debate about World War II timelines. And weirdly, I kind of loved it. It seemed like Mom wore more hats than I thought, and no matter what the position was, she gave it her all. Then, out of nowhere, a wave of dizziness crashed over me. I ran to the bathroom, collapsed by the toilet. What was that? I splashed water on my face, heart still racing when the door slammed open. Grandma, in her mid-40 seconds, furiously stormed in, holding up a pregnancy test with 2 bright pink lines.
I found this in your bathroom trash. How could you let this happen?
I didn't.
You're at the peak of your career. You could go anywhere, do anything.
She tossed the pregnancy test into the trash can like it was a verdict.
You're making a huge mistake. Don't come crying to me when it all falls apart. I'm not cleaning up a mess you chose for yourself.
She turned and walked away, leaving me alone with the weight of everything. The light blinked out. I woke up back in the attic. I checked my phone. I'd been out for almost a full day. My head was still spinning when I heard footsteps storming up close.
You're not supposed to be in here.
Grandma, wait, I can explain. I shot up, trying to explain the wardrobe and where it took me. She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. Please believe me. I saw her. I was her. I lived her memories.
Enough. This obsession ends now.
And something in me just snapped. I know you've never liked me. You've always thought I was the reason Mom had to give up her ballet dreams, haven't you? She froze. For a second, I thought I'd touched something tender, something she buried deep, but no. She grabbed my arm, yanked me out of the room, slammed the door shut, and flushed the key down the toilet.
Don't ever go near that room again.
A few days later, Grandma left town, and I knew I had to take my shot. No key, no problem. I just have to get into the attic another way. The wardrobe stood exactly where I left it. I opened the door, light, scent, inhale. I blinked, and suddenly, I was walking through a glass-walled office in heels and screamed confidence. Suddenly, a phone buzzed in my hand. Assistants swarmed in like frantic ducklings.
Miss Denzel, the board meeting is in 30.
My body didn't even flinch. I fired off 3 instructions, rescheduled a call, solved a crisis via email, and still had time to sip a green smoothie like a boss. Just then, the assistant popped her head back in.
Also, I rescheduled the investor meeting to next week, per your instructions. You said you didn't want it to clash with your daughter's college decision release. But wasn't that meeting a huge deal?
And yet Mom still chose me over everything. And suddenly the memories flooded in all at once. The recital, the science fair, the nights I cried at 2 and she was always there for me. Even when she was drowning in deadlines and stress, I never even noticed. The moment I saw myself through her eyes, my heart overflowed with love and pride so overwhelming it nearly took my breath away. Was this how she'd always see me? I wish I could stay here forever. But then, that fateful day still came. The day of the crash. I thought if I just changed one thing, anything, maybe I could stop it. I kept calm during the Easter dinner with Grandma, bit my tongue, and smiled through Grandma's passive-aggressive jabs. But then Mom's mouth moved on its own, her voice cut through, sharp and protective.
Then sit here and enjoy your truth alone. Melia, let's go.
We slipped into the back seat exactly like that day. Mom's body sat still, but my mind was screaming. I tried to open her mouth to tell the driver to take a different route, but Mom's lips stayed sealed. In a heartbeat, Mom reached out, pulled me in tight, shielding me with every she had.
I've always been proud of you. I love you so much.
And then everything went white. I blinked. The hospital ceiling came into focus.
Melia,
Grandma was right there. She looked like she hadn't slept in days.
you've been out for a week. I thought I was going to lose you, too.
I saw it then, the fear behind her eyes, the guilt.
I was wrong. I put so much pressure on your mom, and then I did it again with you. I thought I was doing the right thing, pushing you both to be your best, but I never stopped to think. Maybe you both just needed my love. I'm really sorry.
He swallowed hard. Something in my chest finally let go. It's okay. I'm still here. Just then, the door creaked open. A doctor stepped in, smiling.
Good news. Your mother's stable. She's waking up.
A week later, I found myself back in the attic. The wardrobe stood quietly, waiting. I opened it one last time. Nothing happened. No glow, no scent, and for once, I smiled. I guess that chapter was over. Mom was healing.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I'm the only child of a rich couple of tech entrepreneurs. They developed some apps that became super popular overnight, and they became millionaires. Sounds cool, right? Well, it wasn't that great for me. But before we continue the story, Please like and subscribe. My parents were always working or traveling, so I hardly ever saw them. I was practically raised by my nanny, and my best friend was my chauffeur, Thomas. I really wanted to have friends my age to play with, so when I was 5 and starting school, I was thrilled. I put on my new uniform and cleaned my thick glasses. Oh yeah, I have a huge eyesight problem. I'm almost blind without them. When we arrived, I noticed that everyone in the parking lot was looking at me. Just then, I spotted a girl my age standing close by and saw that she was wearing the exact same shoes as me. I walked up to her excitedly and put my foot next to hers. Look, we have the same shoes. We could be best friends. The girl stomped on my foot.
Don't think you'll be popular here just because you came in a fancy car, 4 eyes.
But I
didn't ask and I don't care. Don't talk to me.
And with that, she flicked her hair and left, and her minions followed. I soon discovered that her name was Cynthia, and she was in my class. She told everyone I was a loser who'd begged to be her best friend, and I instantly became a laughingstock. For the next few years, I just kept my head down and ate my lunch alone in the janitor's closet. In the 2nd grade, I saw a sign-up sheet on the board for dance auditions. I'd been having dance lessons at home since I was a kid, and I loved it, so I immediately put my name down. But just then, I heard Cynthia laughing behind me.
There's no place for you here. Only talented dancers can join the class. The ones who don't wear stupid glasses.
I was so tired of her walking all over me. I am a talented dancer. You don't get to decide what my place this.
With that heavy equipment in front of your eyes, I don't think so.
That joke about my glasses is now older than my grandma, and I'm bored. Come up with something better already. Her eyes went wide in surprise, and I walked off feeling proud of myself. Maybe she'd let me be now, but I was so wrong. On the day of the audition, she got to dance first. She wasn't bad, but I was better. But when she finished dancing, all the judges got up and clapped for her. Immediately, a woman in the jury said,
"That was brilliant. We have the person here for the lead role."
Wait, what? I climbed onto the stage immediately. Excuse me, ma'am, but she was only the first dancer. You haven't even seen the rest yet. The woman looked at me with disgust.
I can tell simply by looking at someone if they're talented, and you are not. Someone take her away, please. Next.
That was so unfair. After the audition, I saw Cynthia hugging that woman and calling her mom. Now it made sense why the judge was so nasty. Well, I couldn't even do the one thing I loved, and Cynthia still kept making my life miserable. Over the next few years, she spread a rumor that I had a contagious eye disease, and anyone who hung out with me would go blind, and everyone actually believed her. Another time, I'd taken my glasses off during an exam to clean them, and I didn't notice her slipping a cheat sheet on my desk. I nearly got suspended. I spent most of my time denying all these stupid rumors, and it was exhausting. One day in 7th grade, as I was walking down the corridor, Cynthia pushed me and my glasses fell off. What the hell are you doing?
Move it, Professor Four Eyes.
That was it! I attacked her blurry figure, knocking her to the ground. We were wrestling, pulling and pulling each other's hair when a teacher intervened, and we both ended up in the principal's office. Cynthia looked totally chilled out, and her mom landed 2 minutes later to defend her.
Oh, I know this child. She's a troublemaker.
Her mom was on the school board, and the principal seemed to believe her instantly.
Where are your parents? Your father said he'd be here right away.
Before I could answer, Thomas opened the door.
Oh, that's not her father. That's her chauffeur.
Clearly, she's not on her parents' priority list. They sent the chauffeur to deal with her.
I blinked away my tears furiously and ran off to the empty school auditorium, one of my usual hiding spots. I put on my headphones and started dancing in the dark. It was the only thing that kept me sane. When I finished, I heard someone clapping. As I looked towards the audience, I saw a boy sitting in the dark. It was Clayton. Clayton was popular and hot, and every girl in school wanted to date him, including Cynthia, and that was reason enough for me to stay away from him. What do you want?
I was just watching you dance. You're really good.
Please just stay away from me. And as I was walking past him, he gently took my arm.
Wait a second. Okay, I just want to talk.
I stopped, my heart beating a little faster. He removed my glasses.
You're really pretty.
As he pulled me closer, I shut my eyes, waiting for my very first kiss. But before anything happened, he started to laugh and ran away with my glasses. Hey, wait! I started panting and sweating. Everything was dark and blurry. I heard laughs coming from every corner.
Loser, four-eyed dork.
I covered my ears and started to cry. Suddenly, Thomas opened the door and shouted,
"Natalie, where are you?"
Oh, here comes the superhero to the rescue.
Or should we say super chauffeur?
Cynthia and her tribe skipped out laughing as Thomas took my hand and then drove me home. I didn't go to school for a few days and stayed in bed, but the more I thought about it, the angrier I felt. I was alone and my parents weren't going to come bail me out. I had to stand up for myself. It was the only way to deal with these bullies. But when I went back to school, suddenly everyone and everything had changed. Cynthia ran towards me and hugged me like a best friend.
My Nat, we were so worried about you.
Yes. Where have you been? We missed you.
Even Clayton was there smiling at me. What on earth was happening? What are you up to? Don't touch me. And then I heard a voice behind me. It was my mom.
Natalie, what are you doing?
What am I doing? What are you doing here?
Nat, how come you never told us that your mother is the founder of the most successful fashion app in the world? She just gave us a ton of discount coupons for the most awesome brands.
And why did I need to tell you that I don't even use it?
You're hilarious, Nat. That's why we're best friends.
No, we're not. You're a psycho.
Natalie, you're being so rude. I didn't teach you those manners.
You're right. You didn't teach me any manners. You didn't teach me anything. So go back to making your apps, Mom, and take these psychos with you. Well, maybe having a famous mom would finally help get Cynthia off my back, but that was wishful thinking. Because from that day on, I not only had to deal with her at school, but also in my own home. Since Cynthia had convinced my mother that we were best friends, Mom had a brilliant idea of inviting her home every day and to come with me in the limo. But one day, just when I was at the edge of losing my mind, something unexpected happened. As I was coming out of class, I saw Cynthia and her mom arguing.
You need to train for nationals, Cynthia. You seem really distracted.
Don't worry, Mom. I'm practicing at the studio every day. I know how important the competition is.
Okay, just checking. You have to win every competition to get a university scholarship. Your stupid father has left me with no money, and you have to go to Juilliard. It's important for my reputation.
I know, Mom.
I realized Cynthia had been lying to her mom about going for practice because she was always at my place. Now is my chance to get rid of her once and for all. That afternoon when Cynthia was at my place as usual, I stole her cell phone, took her mom's number, and called her, acting as a secretary from the dance studio. Hi, I wanted to tell you that your daughter had an accident at the studio and you're her emergency contact. Can you please come over immediately?
Oh my God, is she okay?
Yes, she's fine, but she's asking for you. I'm sending you the address.
I'll be right there.
Okay, that was a bit dramatic, I know. When I heard a car screech to a halt outside my house, I went running out. Cynthia's mom was shocked to see me.
You, what? Is this some kind of prank?
Oh no, please believe me, you have to come see Cynthia. As her mom looked at me suspiciously, I led her to my bedroom where Cynthia and her minions were reading magazines, lying on my bed.
Gosh, I think I'll just run away and become a teen model or marry some rich billionaire. I don't want to dance and go to stupid college. Mom is really annoying. No wonder Dad left her.
You ungrateful Brad.
Mom, I was just kidding. Shut up. You're coming with me right now. You're grounded for life.
She took Cynthia by the ear, like a 5-year-old rascal caught doing something bad by her mommy. It was heaven, and I've been recording the whole thing on my phone. It was an Oscar-worthy film I could watch on repeat, and then I shared it with the whole school. By the next day, Cynthia was the laughingstock, and that was the end of her popularity. But when I got home that day, Mom was waiting for me with her phone in her hand.
You made this and circulated it everywhere. How could you do this to that nice girl? You're a terrible person.
I'm glad at least this made you pay some attention to me. Mom, did you know Cynthia has bullied me from the day I started school? Do you know she's knocked me down, spread rumors about me, and humiliated me in front of everyone? You wouldn't know because you were never here. Her mom always came to defend her, but mine never showed up for me.
I'm sorry, Natalie. I didn't know I was so busy all these years to build a great future for you. This app, this company, this money, it's all yours.
Well, you know what, Mom? I always thought I was angry at you for never having any time for me. But now I think what's been bothering me all along is that I'll grow up to run your company one day, and I'll become someone like you. And I don't want to be like you. I don't want to ignore the people who love me the most for some company or money.
Oh, I didn't know you hated me this much.
Mom, I don't hate you. I hate the fact that I might turn out to be a mother like you.
Please forgive me. Please give me a chance.
I wasn't ready to forgive her right away, and I didn't talk to her for months, but it seems like my words had really moved her, and she kept trying to make up for all the lost time. And eventually I decided to give her a chance again. And well, Cynthia, she never bothered me again. She was now a prisoner of her mother, who didn't take her eyes off her and forced her to dance every single day. Before ending the story, I want to tell you that pushing others is not right. We should learn to love and help one another. Hi, I'm Mandy. Please like and subscribe, and tomorrow you will have the best news. Growing up, we moved around a lot because my parents were journalists. I got really good at making friends quickly, but holding on to any of them was tough since I always ended up leaving, no matter how many of my so-called besties promised they'd stay in touch. After a while, they never did. It was heartbreaking every time. One day, Mom came home with big news. She got a job in Washington, D.C. for a national newspaper, and we wouldn't have to move anymore. I was so excited. Finally, I would have rooms of our own to decorate, make friends that would last. It was a dream. When I started at my new high school, I was nervous. I had to make an amazing first impression because this one had to stick. When I sat down at my desk in the homeroom, the other kids looked at me like I was an alien, until a pretty brunette girl sat down next to me.
Hey, I'm Jasmine. Love your jeans. Where'd you get them?
A thrift store in New York.
Oh my god. Is that where you're from?
Sort of. I told her all about life on the road, and we hit it off right away. I could tell she was popular, and it was easy to see why. Very involved in all sorts of clubs and sports. So charming, and top 2 of our class. She was always competing for the top spot against this one kid, Chase. She warned me about how annoying he was, and I totally agreed. I was stuck next to him in math class, and he was always talking and distracting me from taking notes. From the second we met, Jasmine invited me everywhere with her and her friends. We did our homework together, ate lunch, had sleepovers. It was amazing! Soon after I started school, Jasmine convinced me to come to her French club to see if I wanted to join. She introduced me to her friend Camille, and we had so much fun. We watched French movies and practiced speaking with each other. I joined immediately. They were going to choose 2 students for a summer study abroad in Paris. I just knew it would be a really smart move for my future. One day, I went to Camille's house to study with her, and suddenly, the cutest boy I'd ever seen walked into her kitchen.
Hey, butthead.
Excuse me?
Sorry, that was meant for my dumb little sister.
Ugh, don't listen to him.
I'm Ryan. You must be the famous Mandy I've heard so much about.
Don't you have somewhere else to be?
Nowhere better than right where Mandy is.
Then he smiled the most perfect smile I'd ever seen. I could have melted into a puddle right there. The next day at French Club, I told Jasmine all about him. Oh my god, Jazz, he's on the soccer team. Good at school.
Wow, he sounds like
he perfect package. OMG, he's here. She turned to see Ryan walk into the room right then suddenly. Her eyes turned to ice in front of me.
Ryan? He's my ex.
Oh.
But I mean, if you like him, I guess.
No, of course I wouldn't.
Oh, good, because it'd be so weird. I'm so glad we're friends.
What are you all talking about?
Oh, nothing. It's nice to see you again.
Since when are you in French Club?
Since I found out Mandy joined.
It was so awkward I thought I'd die. Just then, Madame Delacroix clapped her hands.
For announcement time for our upcoming Parents' Night, we will be breaking off into pairs to research and cook a classic French dish.
She started group. And surprise! I got paired with Ryan. For just a second, I thought I could see the ice return to Jasmine's eyes, but she blinked, and it was gone. I felt sort of guilty that I'd be spending so much time with Ryan, but I vowed to keep my promise to Jasmine. Soon after that, I got assigned to help Chase hand out awards at the banquet. Hanging out with him all night would be the perfect punishment for me. A few days later, Ryan and I had to get together at his house to make chocolate mousse, my favorite.
Have you ever made this before?
No, but I've watched my dad make it, so I think Then I started the mixer. It started whipping everything up so fast that our chocolate mixture started flying out of the bowl. Soon we were both covered in chocolate. I was mortified, but Ryan just laughed and swiped some chocolate off my nose.
Looks good to me.
After we got cleaned up, we managed to make a second batch just in time to make it to the event. Madame Delacroix tasted every dish and said ours was the best of all of them. I was pretty proud, and I hoped it would get me some extra points toward the Paris program. Not even having to sit next to Chatterbox Chase all night could ruin my mood. After that, Ryan started asking me to hang out more and more. Soccer games, study sessions, sometimes even trips for ice cream. He was really funny, and we liked all the same books. I could tell he liked me, and I was really starting to like him. But I couldn't betray Jasmine. When I told my mom about it, she thought I was being ridiculous.
I don't think Jasmine really has your best interests at heart, Mandy.
She was my first friend here.
But that doesn't make her a good friend. What kind of friend keeps you from being with someone you really like?
It's girl code. So I was definitely surprised the next day, at lunch, when our group started talking about boys to hear Jasmine exclaim,
"Who needs them? I've so moved on from Ryan. I mean, we only dated a few weeks anyway. Mandy, you can have him for all I care."
I was elated to hear her say that, but now I was nervous. I'd never really pursued anyone before, but all the signs were there, and I decided to go for it. Soon after, Ryan hurt his ankle at a soccer match and had to leave the field. We lost. I decided to visit him the next day, especially now that Jazz had given her blessing. When I walked into his living room with some cheery daisies, his whole face lit up, and he pulled me down to the couch in a huge hug. When we pulled away, I felt like I was falling into his beautiful brown eyes. I thought for just a second I might get my first real kiss, but I chickened out. I brought some ice cream too for Sundays.
You're the best, you know that?
We watched TV and ate way too much ice cream, but things felt a little different. He was texting almost constantly, when he usually was always talking to me non-stop. I wondered if I had ruined things by pulling away earlier. I tried to ignore it, but when my mom came to get me, I was sort of glad to leave. For the next few days, I tried to keep my head down and work hard towards the Paris trip, but I was glad for the distraction when Jasmine announced her birthday party to the whole class.
Arcade this weekend. My birthday wish list is on all the invites.
You going?
Of course, Jazz is my best friend.
Sure she is.
Cryptic much? You're so weird. I caught up with her in the hallway after. Can I hitch a ride to your party? This will be so fun. I already have your gift.
My carpool is full already.
Oh, okay. But she was already halfway down the hall, leaving me in her dust. I figured she was just distracted about her party and tried not to think about her weird behavior. I texted Ryan to see if he and Shamil wanted to carpool, but all I got were 3 typing bubbles in response, and then nothing. In fact, I didn't hear anything from anyone all weekend. What was going on Saturday, when my mom dropped me off at arcade, a gift in hand for Jasmine, I pasted a big smile on my face as I got out of the car. Chase waved to me and smiled. He really wasn't so annoying, maybe just a little awkward. As we walked into the party room, imagine my shock when I saw Jasmine's stick standing there holding hands with none other than Ryan. A pit dropped to the bottom of my stomach. When she leaned over to kiss him, I thought I'd die. All I wanted to do was run home and curl up under the covers, but I couldn't. It was Jasmine's birthday, my best friend. Still, I was mortified. Everyone knew I liked him, and they had all seen us spend so much time together. Now, he wouldn't even look at me. As everyone started pairing off and heading to the arcade, I realized I didn't have a partner. Blinking back tears, I suddenly felt a warm hand on my shoulder.
Hey, let's pair up for a round.
Sure. Chase and I played through, and even though I had a pit in my stomach, we actually had a lot of fun. He was pretty good, and even when I danced offbeat, he pretended not to see it. When we went inside for Jasmine's cake, I tried to put on a brave face, but when Ryan leaned over to help her blow out her birthday candles and Jasmine turned to smile at me with a gleam in her eye like nothing was wrong, I knew I had to leave. I snuck out to the bathroom to call my mom to get me, and as soon as I got into her car, I burst into tears and cried all the way home. And even though Chase texted me to check on me, and Camille did too, the one person who I actually thought would worry enough to reach out never did. I didn't hear from Jasmine until Monday in homeroom.
Mandy, why'd you leave my party? The cake was so good.
Why did I leave? Jasmine?
What?
You have to know why I left.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You knew I liked Ryan. You told me you'd moved on, and all of a sudden you show up with him without telling me.
How can you be mad? He was my boyfriend.
Your ex-boyfriend that you said I could pursue. Why tell me that if you wanted him back all along?
See, this is why we kept it quiet. We knew you'd be upset.
What?
We got back together the day he got hurt at his soccer match. He wanted to tell you, but we all knew you'd just be upset.
So you've just been lying to me for weeks? All of you. Jazz, how am I supposed to trust anything any of you say?
All's fair in love and war.
And with that, she flipped her hair over her shoulder and switched desks. I was devastated. My first real friend. And everything had gotten so messed up. What had I missed? When I saw Ryan walking home from school, I sped up to catch him. What the heck, Ryan? I thought we liked each other. And then you show up like that with Jasmine and totally blindside me.
I didn't know you liked me.
Oh, come on. The ice cream, the flowers. You knew I liked you. There have been several moments and I didn't just imagine that you liked me, too.
I did, but you never said anything.
Well, neither did you.
And then when Jasmine came to me after I got hurt saying she wanted to get back together, Why would I turn her down when I wasn't even the one to break up with her?
Like me. Don't like me? Fine. But you could have had the decency to say something before just showing up like that and humiliating me. I deserve better than that. I tried to put on a brave face at school. After all, hadn't I been a lone wolf for my whole life? But I'd gotten so used to having a friend at school that I suddenly felt the absence. Luckily, Chase came to sit by me the first time he saw me sitting alone at lunch. I couldn't see why I'd hated him so much for so long, other than the fact that Jasmine didn't like him. He was so sweet and really smart. Even though I avoided Jasmine and Ryan at all costs, I refused to quit French club. As the weather got nicer, Chase tried to get me to come out to soccer games, parties, concerts. But my sole focus was on school. I was more determined than ever to get one of the spots to go to Paris and prayed that Jasmine wouldn't get the other one. Chase became my favorite study buddy. He was almost as determined as I was for me to win the top spot on the Paris trip. On the last day of school, our report cards came out straight A's. Chase and I got big ice cream sundaes after school to celebrate. As I looked across the table at him, I thought about everything that had happened with Jasmine and Ryan and our whole big group, and I decided I was so glad to have one actual good friend instead of a bunch of not-so-great ones. Afterwards, Chase and I walked down the National Mall as the sun set. So, Mr. Number 1 in the class, how does it feel?
I'm just glad to have beat her, to be honest, especially after everything that happened with you.
I can take care of myself.
I know, but from day one you seemed so nice, and I tried to make friends with you so quickly because I knew she'd come after you right away.
What do you mean?
Jasmine and I have been in the same class since kindergarten. She has always kept the girls she was most afraid of close. You know, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
But I was never her enemy.
She's always been afraid of the smart, pretty girls in our grade. Even if you don't see it, trust me. To her, you were a threat.
Wow, I had no idea. But if I had to go through all that to become friends with you, it was worth it. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Madame Delacroix. Hello?
Mandy, I'm pleased to inform you that you have been selected for this summer's study abroad in Paris. Pack your bags, mademoiselle. I am so proud.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I mean, merci beaucoup. When we hung up, I squealed. Oh my God! I'm gonna have a stamp in my passport. Suddenly, Chase's phone rang. And when he saw the caller ID, he looked up at me with a gleam in his eye. I could barely contain my excitement. And when he finally said, "Thank you," and hung up, he turned to me with a huge smile.
Looks like I'll have a matching stamp.
Paris? Together? I threw my arms around him, overjoyed to be off on a big adventure with my favorite first real friend.